with argument, you're having to use your opinion, base it, and then also look at the other point of view. So it's a little bit more challenging. Okay? And you also can't have your opinion shine through too much because then you look biased. Do you see how difficult this is, kids?
Yes.
Difficult. Okay? So, argumentative writing. Here we go. Okay. So, first of all, why on earth do we need to do this? Okay? These are all of the standards that the state and federal government determine that you need to know, as well as any other freshman in the state of California. Okay? So the things that we need to do are, here's some ideas, okay? We need to write arguments to support claims, all right? So to support your opinion. We need to introduce claims. We need to look at the other point of view. We need to develop claims and counterclaims. And we need to use words, phrases, and clauses that link parts of our text. Why do you think it's important that we need to distinguish claims from other points of view and look at other points of view? Why do you think they're like, we should probably figure that out at 14 years old? Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff that tries to sway us whichever way they want us to go.
Yeah, so you guys need to be able to develop an opinion, first of all. You guys need to be able to develop an opinion and back it up. And you're also going to come across people who have different views in your lifetime. If you can't look at their viewpoint, you're going to have lots of clashes that you don't need in your life, right? People can have other opinions and you can get along fine. Plus, you'll have to persuade and argue your way through life, whether it be to argue a pay raise or if you want to be a lawyer. Persuasion and argument are two major life skills, right? To get your phone back from your mom, to get a job. Your future spouse of why you want to get a dog, which I had to do and I won. Okay?
I mean,
What kind of dog do you
A rat dog, Charles.
Oh, those are the best.
Well, he was a rescue, so he's just kind of everything.
that's my dog.
Alright. Okay. So when it comes to argument, there's two different types. Aiden, stay with me, okay? There's persuasion and there's argument. Persuasion, first of all, is just persuading the reader to agree with you. It's not necessarily fact or evidence-based, okay? My best example to use is the Sarah McLachlan Angel SPCA video. Right, that's persuading you emotionally, not fact-based. Argument, on the other hand, it's getting the reader to recognize your side of the argument. Okay? So instead of me trying to persuade you to think my way, it's just me being like, well, here's also my point of view, and this is why it's valid. Research-based, okay? That's what we want to do in an academic setting. Research-based. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. What?
So persuasion is pretty much like what you do if you do not have any facts.
Not necessarily, but you still can have fact-based, but with an argument, look at the different purposes. This is to so if I'm like, if we're in an argument over what hair color is the best, which is silly because we're both blonde. If I'm like, blondes are better, and you're like, well, no, blondes are stupid, I hate my hair. Okay? It might get into a persuasive argument of you need to agree with me, right? You need to have the same opinion. Argument is just being able to develop your opinion and get someone else to see that your side matters. Yeah.
So persuasion is what would pretty much come after the argument.
Maybe. But how I'm teaching it is it's two separate things. Right? So when you guys are writing an argumentative essay, I want you to focus on the fact that you're going to be using research and evidence. Because you're not necessarily trying to get your reader to 100% agree with you. You're just trying to show them your side of an argument, right? And back it up with evidence. Yeah.
Are we going to do that essay on any topic we want, or do we have like a specific?
We have a specific topic this time, and then I'm thinking of developing a research unit where we learn how to research things and use evidence properly, and then you can develop your topic from there. If we did that with the juniors, it went really well. Yeah.
Don't people usually put persuasion and argumentative together?
Yes, it's both similar, but persuasion is more about persuading someone to agree with you, while argument is just having someone recognize your claim. Does that make sense? Because you can see how this can get emotional, right? Like, Levi, I'm going to use you the other day. When we were talking about Mr. Wold and what was his belief about animals? Eating meat is murder, Kay? And Levi was like, but it's not! And I was like, but he can still have that point of view. And he was like, but it's not murder! And I was like, but he can still have that opinion. That's more persuasion where, like, you're getting, like, it doesn't make sense, and you're getting heated over it. Whereas the argument, it's like you want to use facts and evidence and that kind of thing. Okay. All right. So we're gonna watch a video, Malachi. Hopefully, this will explain more. Actually, we're not gonna watch a video. This is just a research
No, we
document.
should watch the video.
Okay. So here's some of the differences. Okay. Look at the board. Look at the board. Look at the board. So here's a couple of the things. Okay. We already talked about the purpose, techniques. If we look at persuasion, emotion-based, it doesn't include counterclaims, right? Only presents one side of the story, the author's side. It combines fact with emotions to convince the reader that the author is right. So when you want to be right, that's when you're persuading. Okay? Yes.
What if it's combined in 8th grade? My final thing was to do a persuasive essay, but I had to show both sides of it, but I also had to use facts on it. So,
Well, you were writing an argument.
but I also used emotion in it. It was
So you're using both elements. You can use both elements, but what you want to weigh on is facts, right? So on the other side, argument is logic-based, acknowledges the opposing claims. And the reason why is if you want to argue something, you don't want to lean too heavily on emotions, right? Because that can weigh down your argument and not make it look as strong. Think about your tone, okay? Like I said, persuasion, the tone is emotionally charged and more aggressive. Holla at your grandparents on Facebook who get in political arguments, okay? I have a grandma who I've never met. No, I'm sorry. A great aunt, my grandma's sister, and she'll post things, and I snap pictures of to my siblings, and I'm like, oh gosh, what is she talking about, right? Because she's getting heated arguments with other people on Facebook about politics. So that's usually when it's emotionally charged, okay? You guys want to have that calm tone and know that your side is worthy of acknowledgement, right? You don't want to approach life being emotionally charged like that because no one's going to look at your point of view necessarily. You want to be that evidence-based person that can get your point across. Cherry tomatoes today, eh?
So, on argumentative, you're not actually trying to make them think the way that you think.
Yes.
You're just trying to
You're trying
show
to
that.
yes.
Show your.
You're trying to
side.
prove your claim is what you're trying to do. You're saying, here's my opinion and here's why it's valid. Elijah, give him back the cherry tomatoes.
Yeah, well,
You have 3 seconds before I freak out. Great, thank you. Okay. All right, general technique. We just talked about this, okay? This is just another graphic if you need a little bit more help. Do we understand kind of what I'm wanting you to do with argument? Okay? Facts and evidence, not necessarily emotionally charged. It's a skill to have in life. Johnny.
So for persuasion writings, it says blends facts and emotion in an attempt to convince the reader that the writer is right.
Yes.
Would one of those techniques be to use pathos?
Yes. That's the emotion, okay? Which you can still use emotion in an argumentative writing, right? Just like Martin Luther King. He's not, in his speech, is he arguing a claim or is he arguing, you need to believe I'm right? A claim, yes. And he's still using emotion, but it's not reliant on emotion. Okay? Yes.
I was gonna say in a persuasion essay, you would probably use more pathos than you would ethos and logos, but in an argumentative,
That's
you
why
use more
we write
ethos-
argumentative. Exactly.
Ethos and logos in an argumentative.
Okay? Yes.
So the excerpt we were reading the other day from reading Lolita and John.
Yeah.
Is that more persuasion or argumentation?
Well, that was a diary. That was a diary. So that wasn't trying to do anything, but it has a purpose of trying to inform you, right?
Not-
Trying to get you to feel a certain way about those laws.
Not everything.
Okay, so these are elements of an argument. Shh. Okay, these are elements of an argumentative essay. All right. Look at these elements. Also, you're going to use these when you write an essay. Okay, you're going to give a claim, your reasons for your claim, your evidence, counterclaim, and rebuttal. Okay, so we're going to go over each of these individually. You don't need to take notes on this right now. I promise we'll get to it. Okay. So first, we're going to start with claim. Okay. The claim is your opinion, stance, or position on the issue at hand. Okay, so someone give me a controversial topic that isn't too controversial that's going to go crazy. Elijah?
Donald Trump is so
That's too charged. Yeah.
Eli is a great
Oh, I have one. Okay.
There's only one side.
Schooling is the road to being successful.
Okay. Stay with me, Johnny. Oh, wait. Higher education is the only way to being successful. Okay, so I'm saying college is the only way to be being successful. Someone give me your opinion on that topic. Aiden?
No, my dad is very successful.
Okay, no, give me a claim. That would be evidence, right? Give me a claim.
Okay.
Give me your claim on that topic.
No, I don't think higher education is.
So no, higher education is not the only way to being successful. So here's another example, right? All students should have to learn a second language because it leads to more opportunities in their career. It's a claim, right? Your opinion on an issue. So when I give you an argumentative prompt, Nate, do you have your phone out?
No.
Okay. So if I give you guys an argumentative prompt, you're going to develop your opinion on the topic first of all. That's your main claim. Okay? So, check out this lovely box. It's going to get better, I promise. Check it out. Oh! Okay. So, alright. Reasons for your claim. So now these are the individual pieces of evidence that you have researched and found or are using from texts in order to support your claim, okay? So these are the building blocks. I thought I made this way prettier, but apparently I didn't. I think it's on the other one. So you have quotes and pieces of evidence that prove your claim. Does that make sense how they support your claim? Okay. So Aiden, let's go back to your topic. Higher education is not the only way to becoming successful. I'll give you a piece of evidence.
My father did not go to college, and yet he is quite successful in his field, which is one of the top 50 companies in the world.
Okay, so father is extremely successful even though he didn't go to college. Jillian, what's another one? Yeah.
Many great minds in history dropped out of school.
Okay, what's the third? Someone give me a third. Yeah. Nate.
My stepfather owns a business and he barely even finished high school.
Okay, so you can become a business owner. You can become a business owner with not going to college. You see, we've got evidence to support our claim. We're not emotionally charged, so you need to believe me. You need to be on my side. I'm just supporting my opinion. Okay? What is going on? All right, counterclaim. So, can I draw on this? I don't know if it'll let me. Here. Why don't any of my markers work anymore? I don't think it's even on.
What if you hit edit or insert?
No, that's not my markers.
No, that's just the Google.
I'm not a tech guy.
Looks like there's no other apps besides catching up in the
I had a guy come work on it the other day.
Here, wait, let me. I did not break it. I did it on purpose. Wait, why is it so loud in here?
Because they're laughing.
I might reset it.
Maybe?
Did it not?
No, my board doesn't even on.
Oh, it's not working at all.
No. Okay. We'll figure it out. Alright, bring it back in 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay? It should be silent. Alright. So we have our claim here, okay? And then we have our individual blocks of support for our pillar. Alright, now we have the counterclaim, okay? A counterclaim is kind of like Emma with her flat top head. So think of the counterclaim as like an object that could be thrown to kind of like break your structure. Okay? So the counterclaim is some sort of object that can kind of like be thrown in your way and make so like if someone just like threw a piece of gum in my face, like right? That's a counterclaim. It would interrupt my whole thing I've got going on here.
Or you can write, or you can write counterclaim on a tennis ball and throw it at people's head.
Fair enough, that too. Okay. Bring it back. Bring it back. Okay. So the counterclaim is a statement that points out what someone may disagree with in your argument. Okay? consider what might make your argument look weak. Okay, so let's go back to Aiden's point that higher education is not the only way that you can be successful in life. What could be a counter argument, Tony?
That even though his dad did that, that his dad is one out of the rest of society, and that he's like the top 1% that's done that.
Exactly. So Aiden says an exception to the rule. Okay, Tessa, was your hand open? Okay. Kaden, go ahead.
Well, also another thing is that he
focus.
Just like if you're saying only having an education can be the way to be successful, that's saying you're only relying on academics and only that. There are other skills like being like good socially, good working with people.
So you're kind of giving a counterpoint to the other point of view that like higher education is the only way.
Yeah, like May stating that there are other skills, not just academic skills.
Okay. Caleb.
That was like what 30 years ago, 40 years ago.
When his dad started
were
working
age, they
business.
were age where now most jobs.
Don't get emotionally charged. We're just. It's okay. Yes.
Now most jobs require a college degree.
Okay.
Back
So in this piece of support, remember, check this out. In your essay, okay, this is your evidence 1, this is your evidence 2, and this is your evidence 3 if you have a 3-body paragraph essay, right? You need to have a counter argument for each point, okay? So this one, Aiden said, my dad's successful, but he didn't go to college. Your counter argument would directly combat that one, right? And you would say, okay, he's in an older age. Right? He was in a different time when this happened, okay? So someone else give me another counter argument. Aiden, what was your second point?
Second point.
Do you remember?
It was Jillian.
Julian, what was another point?
It actually, Caleb's counter argument goes with mine too.
Okay.
It said, great minds in history.
Oh, okay.
What?
So her second point was that there's a lot of great minds in history who dropped out of school. So like Steve Jobs, the founder of Apple, he dropped out, right? So what could be a counter argument to that point? What could be a counter argument to that point?
Times have changed.
So he's in an older age, times have changed. Okay, you cannot be as successful. Elijah, your hand is up.
It was, but
Go ahead.
was.
Alright. Can I have someone who hasn't spoken a lot today? I'm not going to go here. What's a counter argument you think of?
There's also lots of people in history that did.
Okay, so on the same note, there's a lot of people who did, on the other hand, okay? So you see how each point, I'm considering, okay, what could someone who disagrees with me say, right? Yeah, Kaden.
You can say that the reason why it could have worked out for him is because he was in a different situation, not everyone's situation is the exact same.
Okay, good. So evidence 3, remember we said Nate's stepfather owns a business, a successful small business, and he did not go to college. What is a counterclaim for that piece of evidence, Jillian?
Going to college is definitely easier to get more successful faster, and just if you're provided with a good education, it's more likely to
Your small business to be successful. So you're given more information and details on how to run a small business. Okay, so more education on how to run a small biz. Okay. Hi, Caleb.
I was going to say the counter argument for that is like, would you even call that success though? It's just like a little small business. Like
The small business that's
Don't get emotionally charged. Okay. So you could say, well, if he went to college, would his small business
be bigger?
Okay. So you see how we're coming up with counterclaims? So by the way, you guys should have been doing this since 6th grade in middle school. Okay? Braden's like, I
I've
don't
been
know.
arguing since I was 4 years old.
So that's okay. I'll read persuasive. I'm reteaching, okay? So you may have been taught counterclaim or counter argument, Those two terms mean the exact same thing. Okay, so if you've been taught one way or the other, it's the same thing. Kyle, stay with me. Elijah?
I was going to just say for the counter argument, whatever. Are we still on that? Or are we moving on?
If you want to give me one, go ahead. You're more than welcome to.
There are many ways that you do not have to go to school, but you still have to learn how to do it, but you don't have to necessarily go to college to learn it.
Okay, so would that be a counterclaim?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
If you're starting a new business or if you're trying to get into a company or whatever, another position, most companies are looking for
Someone with an education.
like they're going to look at you if you don't have any college degrees, they're most likely just going to skim over you.
Okay, so that would be your base, right? All right, I'm gonna go to rebuttal. We're not doing an I disagree activity, so I'm just gonna teach this, okay? So, Leon, stay with me.
Well, can I just clarify something?
Yeah, you have a question?
So that big rectangle is your claim, right?
Yes, so this is my claim, which in this example is Aiden saying you do not have to have an education to be successful.
So the 3 boxes are the counter argument.
No. My 3 boxes are my evidence, my supports that support my claim. Then I have 3 counter arguments, right, that are possible hindrances to my claim.
So then the rebuttal, there's like...
Now we're going to get to the rebuttal. The rebuttal is the support at the bottom. Okay?
Each one.
Yes. So the rebuttal is the support at the bottom, and you do need to address each counterclaim. Because if I don't address each counterclaim, I leave those, like, gray areas hanging. Okay? So, a rebuttal, eyeballs. Eyeballs. I love your guys' eyeballs, okay? Rebuttal. Your response. I'll wait. Your response to the counter argument, okay? So why is the counter argument wrong? Why is your claim still right? Okay? So let's go to this first example. Aiden's dad is successful even though he didn't go to college. The counterclaim comes in and says, well, yeah, that might be true for him, but he grew up in a different age. Now you got to refute that and say, okay, I see your argument, but here's why I'm still right. Here's still why my claim still makes sense. Reagan.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is this like your personal view on why the counter argument is wrong, or are you?
You are logically arguing why the counterclaim could not be correct. Okay. You are going to use evidence. You are going to use your stories. You are going to use research in order to develop each of these things. Okay.
It kind of has to be true because for a guy like Levi, it has to be.
Don't get rude. Don't get.
No. Like for construction, like there is a way to become successful. You don't have to go
wait for construction.
No, like for moving bricks all day. I mean, there's a way.
I'm so confused. Why are we talking about Levi in construction? I thought Levi wanted to
Because
do
talking about Levi's fun.
first responders.
No, what I'm trying to say is that there are ways to be successful without going to school.
100%. There are trade schools, right? That's where this is a great topic to bring up because from a young age, a lot of you guys are put in your brain, right? Like college. If you don't go to college, then you're gonna be poor or something like that. Well, guess what? There's a lot.
A lot of people who go to
There,
college for art.
yeah, and there are a lot of jobs. Stay with me. First responders do not require a college education, but you get a pay increase. Right? There's electricians who make up to like $56 an hour. There's all these other trades that do not require a college degree. So that's why it's such a great discussion topic because from a young age you guys are constantly told this. Nate, what's up?
All right. The military, if you have a college degree, a business degree, but if you have a college degree, you can join as an officer and get a lot of money per year.
That's only if you did ROTC in college, though, from what I understand. Because I have a friend who did that. High school. Yeah. High school or college, I believe. Because they have ROTC.
You need to have completed a certain amount of college credits to be able to join as an officer. You also need to go to officer school, which is kind of like ROTC. More hard.
I was going to say, almost like a metaphor for this would almost be like if there's 2 boxers in a ring, one boxer lets the guy kind of give him a little punch, and then the other guy just totally flex.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, a little bit.
I just want to give an example that
Kaden's talking.
that like I actually figured out. So like my
Nate, I just said please stop talking because Kaden's talking. You're being rude to a classmate.
that like my grandpa actually all he had to do was like he finished like high school early and ended up he like ran away at like 12 or 13 from home, and then he ended up when he got older being really successful working for like a big like computer company or something, and ended up like making a lot of money like 70s and 80s, during the 70s and 80s. So
Yeah.
he got a lot of money for himself. And
Yes.
was successful. So.
100% possible. Johnny, I'm going to get to the rebuttal, okay? So if you want to weigh in on that. So, our counter argument is that, okay, Aiden's dad, yeah, great, he successfully didn't go to college, but that was in a different age. In today's age, we can't do that. Someone give me a rebuttal. Aiden, would you like to do that, child? Go ahead.
Okay, so I can argue that it's even less relevant to go to college now because less people are going to college and there are more tech careers open and you don't need college. to
Yes.
You can have
So then, in your essay, you would go find job statistics, right, and where the percentages are. Great rebuttal, okay?
This college is a lot more expensive than
What if
it was
when
in
the
the past.
robots got taken?
College you could go to school for like $400. Nowadays, college costs like $400,000. It costs as much as a small house to go to college.
Alright, bring it back in 3, 2, 1, 0. Yeah, I'm at 0. Okay, Cody, go ahead.
I was gonna say that I've seen a lot of like people. There was some kind of documentary about a lot of the rich people right now who are in big companies who didn't go to college, and they're saying that they're not looking for a college degree at all. If they're looking at the person, what they have done, what
Okay.
they can do.
Okay, so maybe for a lot of people did drop out of college, you know, people did go to college, that could be an argument, right? Well, that's great that a lot of people go to college, but according to this article, employers don't look for college degrees. Is that not what you said?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay. So what's another rebuttal that I could do? Johnny?
My rebuttal is that some certain jobs don't ask you for a college degree. Take my stepmom, for instance. When she was 15, she left the house, she ran away from home, she was working 3 jobs, sleeping on a friend's couch, and going to school. When she got old enough, she became a doula. That's basically a person who helps first-time moms who have no idea what they're doing take care of their babies. You don't need a college degree for that, and she made 6 figures per month. She was very successful.
Okay, so which one would I put that for? So would that be that he's in an older age? A lot of people dropped out of college. Would that be more education on how to run a small business? Remember, you were aligning it specifically with the counter argument. Okay, so this is what Johnny said about mom and doula. All right, let's get to our third counterclaim, which is that, remember we talked about Nate's dad owns a small business, he didn't go to college. Our counterclaim was like, well, if he did go to college, he would have had a lot more training on how to run his business. How do I address that counter argument? How do I come back and say, I see your point there, young grasshopper, but, Ava?
Running a business comes with experience and not really education from college. In order to be more successful in a business, you need and knowledge about running that
Good.
business, which you can only get from being in that business.
So then you would go find some research on what it takes to run a business and how many years it takes to be successful to prove that. Got it? Comes with experience. So how do we feel about supporting our claim, drawing evidence, kind of a rebuttal? Could I do this? Could I kind of do this? I got nothing.
I feel it.
Can I have everyone's thumbs, please? Give me a thumb. Where am I at with developing these elements of an argument? Kyle, can I have a thumb? See, I like thumbs and eyes, Charles. It's not just thumbs. What is this? Spot.
Live long and prosper.
But what does Spock have to do with your argumentative knowledge?
Spock probably went to college while he's successful.
So where can you tell me where you're at?
Evidence. Oh, for that?
Are you good?
Yeah.
Okay. So for those of you who gave me a thumbs middle, what can I help you with? What can I help elaborate? Elijah?
So, like, is this for the persuasion or argument?
What do you think we're going to focus on? Which one? Argument. We're going to use fact-based. Okay? Alright. Anyone else want me to elaborate? Yeah, Malachi?
Is the claim kind of like the thesis for an
Yes! 100%. The claim is your thesis statement, right? So you're going to be given a prompt and you got to give me your opinion on that prompt. And then you're going to support it.
Would you put an essay map in there of what you're going to talk about?
Yep. And we're going to do graphic organizers. We're going to develop. This is just the main concepts of an argument, right? Nate. We're not going back to that. All right. Anyone else? We're feeling good, Faith? No, just like an essay, right? We're going to have an introduction and body paragraphs. These are just the elements of argument, right? We're going to talk about how to format the essay next. Ready? Here we go.
No.
Woo! How to write an argument. All right. This is where it gets rough. I want you to focus as best you can right now. Do we need like a minute break to jump around?
Yes.
All right, I'll give you guys literally 30 seconds to run around. I mean 60 seconds, and then I want you back here literally.
Frisbee for 30 seconds.
Frisbee for 30 seconds. I'm going to try my shoe, Charles.
Can I just write it in, like, last night?
I really know.
Against someone for the argumentative essay. Because I'm very good at arguing.
She asked you to move.
Please move.
Nick, can you move?
Still? Why is your hand yellow? Me? No.
Look, I'm yellow. You are yellow, but I'm for undertone. I'm a banana. That's a man.
Levi, no Levi. Like, literally, you read instructions.
Look. Yeah. Will you move it? All right, here we go. Johnny, stay with me. Okay. So, So, just like a normal essay, we have an introductory paragraph, right? My pen's don't work. So, remember, an introductory paragraph is like an upside down triangle. We start with the what?
Hook.
Hook. What is the hook?
Something that grabs the reader.
How do I grab the reader attention? Okay. Then what's next?
Background information.
Info. Hold on. Johnny, can you come here? Well, this is just our intro. Okay. So the second part is our background information, right? So you've got to give me background info on the issue at hand. Like, why on earth are you writing an argumentative essay on this topic? Okay, you might want to introduce the controversy of it. We'll get there, homegirl.
Which is our topic?
All right. Not for this one. That's
No.
We're doing a lot of talking today. Chilling. Yes, what's next? Thesis, okay? The thesis, everyone look at me. This is where you put your main claim, okay? So if I'm saying do you need higher education in order to be successful in life? This is where you put your claim in the thesis statement, okay? All right, intro paragraph. We're good to go. Everyone with this?
Yep.
Okay, excellent. Good job, kids. All right, next up we have our body paragraphs. So within our body,
That's just intro.
yes. Within our body paragraphs, we have a couple different elements, okay? So we have our topic sentence. Okay, what's the second part?
Evidence.
Evidence, okay? And what does it mean by evidence? Yeah, are you?
Like something that supports the body paragraph or the claim.
Okay. So you're gonna introduce your claim here, right? Your topic sentence. Okay, so I'm gonna get to a second. So here's the Levi sit up. Here's the first reason why higher education is not necessary to be successful, right? Now I'm gonna give you evidence. Here's what proves that. Give me a quote. Give me a paraphrase. Cite an article. Okay.
If it's a quote, don't you have to like do a sentence before that? Like
You have to introduce it. Okay.
Like
So yeah,
like
introduce
you
your
just don't
quote.
do the quote bomb.
Yes, don't drop the bomb on me when I'm reading your essays, okay? Like all of a sudden it's talking, it's like some scene from the Mice Men. We're like, what is happening? Give me a little bit of context before your quote, okay? So in an argumentative essay, it's typically like an article. So give me like who the author is. So Gene Simmons from the New York Times wrote about higher education, Give me some sort of introduction of your quote. Emma.
So we can do quotes and experiences and examples,
Yes,
right?
yes. Okay, and I'll have specifics on your prompt of what I'm expecting of you. Okay. What's the next aspect?
Explanations.
What is explanation?
It explains how your quote prove your claim.
Yeah, you seem to know a lot about essay writing. Back there. What is explanation? Okay, explaining how your evidence proves that claim, right? So you're going to be explaining, okay, I chose this quote because without the I chose. This quote's important because it proves blah, 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 blah. All right? Explanation should be how long, how much of it?
Wait, why are you doing 1, 2, 3? Is that supposed to be paragraph 3?
No, it's just elements.
Okay.
Like a sentence?
Sorry, would ABC help or 1, 2, I don't know.
No, just leave it like it is. Mary's being silly.
Mary's being silly.
Kidding.
Remember, this is all one body paragraph. Okay? Your explanation should be significant. Okay? The explanation is the most important part of your essay. Anybody with me?
So, like, explaining what it means.
How, like, why is your evidence there? Like, why is that quote there? Well, how does that prove your claim? Okay? So, like, if you drop a statistic, what does that statistic prove? Explain it for me. Okay? Alright, next is your counter argument. Someone remind me what a counter argument is? Raise your hand. Yeah, Charles. Yes.
And then why?
Okay, so you're going to directly give me a reason as to why this may not be true. So you guys know when we do discussion boards and I say use academic language, that's getting you in here, okay? So for your counter argument, I'm going to be like, that's stupid, here's why it's wrong. Okay? I know, sounds fun.
That means some space.
For the counter argument, you might put, other people could say, someone who disagrees might say, so you're using an academic language to phrase a differing opinion. Maybe.
You say on the other hand?
100%. On the other hand, conversely, on the other side, introduce it in another way. Trust.
Seems like it'd be kind of awkward, like you're making your claim at a certain point and then putting like your own counter argument why disagree with it.
You're addressing what someone else might be thinking. So you have to assume like the real, because any argument, like, okay, let's say, let's go back to, I'm going to tell you guys what my political beliefs today. And I'm going to say, President Trump is the greatest president that ever lived on the face of the earth. This is not, I'm not saying this is my opinion, it's an opinion. Okay? Even if I say that, I can still find reasons he's not, right? I can still say, okay, even if I think that, there's still some reasons why he wouldn't be the best president. Does that make sense? So that's in your argumentative essay. You're acknowledging what someone else could be saying, well, you're not mentioning this in your argument. Just like when we're talking about higher education, you don't need it to be successful. Well, you still got to talk about the people that are successful, or the people that don't make it, that are still, working at McDonald's or something. Not everyone is successful at it. You have to acknowledge that.
Just the lower person.
Like what?
No.
I demoted him to McDonald's, is that what you're saying?
He works at McDonald's.
Sort of. Alright. 2 more elements in an argumentative essay. Eyeballs, 8. Okay.
It's a haircut.
Rebuttal. What is the rebuttal? Mary?
Like showing how the counter argument is
Yes. So now I'm going to address Jillian. Now I'm going to address why that counter argument doesn't work. Okay? So now I'm going to come back and say, I understand why President Trump is not the best president in this aspect, but yeah.
So it's basically your claim against the counter argument.
So now you're directly addressing the counter argument and say, that's a great point, but.
Can I give the counter argument?
To what?
Well, why Donald Trump's not a great president?
No, I don't want to get there. I was not.
Because he looks like an orange.
He looks like a hot, he looks like a Cheeto.
Oh, yeah. See, I have to use examples like that because then you guys buy in right away. So, last part, what is it?
Concluding sentence.
Okay, just like in your expository essay, you guys, this is hard, okay? I want you to stay focused. I don't think you're understanding how difficult this is to write, this type of essay. Okay? I just want you to understand the people that are not focusing, this is not as easy as it seems. Okay? Concluding sentence. Now I'm going to wrap it all up and say, what's the last thing I want to say on this paragraph? How many of these do you develop? 3. At least 3. Okay? At least 3. We already did that. See how easy it was with Aiden's point? Okay? You guys are going to do that. It's going to be easy, I promise. Alright, lastly,
that it wasn't easy.
once we do all of the practice, we're going to be good. I'm not going to send you guys on a mission without training you. Yeah.
So what I've always heard is that you do 3 things of evidence and then a rebuttal. Okay, so like I would do evidence, explanation, and then evidence, explanation. Okay. So what I've heard is you do evidence, explanation, rebuttal, and then counter argument, rebuttal.
He's saying have a counter argument.
Okay, so here's the deal. In the old way that argumentative it was called more persuasion. When I was in high school, you would develop your 3 topics and then hit with one major counterclaim and rebuttal. Here's why that's weak. It can't address all 3 of your points, right?
That's what I was talking about.
Does that make sense? So if you address it for each point in your paragraphs, you've addressed each weak point someone could come up with your argument. So while that's how like I was taught to write an argumentative essay, but now I want you guys to think of, okay, well that's weak because it's not addressing each of your points. I was thinking per paragraph, I was like, that's a lot of evidence. Okay. Yes, Jillian.
Kind of going along with that, I've already done 3 paragraphs, 3 body paragraphs, and then I've done 1 rebuttal paragraph.
That's what he was talking about.
But it addressed all 3 points because you did 3 counter arguments and then you did 3 rebuttals in 1 paragraph.
So, like I said again, then that's taking, and like honestly, there's no wrong way to write that. But if you're organizing it all in 1 paragraph, then it's immediate, and you're addressing the possible counter argument right away, rather than waiting on the moment. Does that make sense? This is much more challenging than that, because I'm forcing you to address it right away, rather than just at the end. Sorry, guys. You can just, my subject is much. Yeah, but do you see what I'm saying? Is like if you wait till like 3 paragraphs later to now address the counter argument, it's kind of like futile. Okay.
Wait,
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that'd be like me introducing a topic and then at the very end of class being like, well, you might not use that in real life.
So it's basically leading us on and then changing your mind.
Yes, you want to make sure that you're addressing the counter argument proactively and in an appropriate time. Yeah.
So you're saying that a middle school teacher has been teaching kids how to do it the wrong way?
No, it's not the wrong way. I'm just asking you to do it in a more challenging and time appropriate way.
Who's harder to teach?
A more influential way.
Which is more mature is a better question.
So what was your question?
Yeah, more influential. That's just doing that.
Yes. Okay, so let's get to our conclusion. Kyle, sit up. Okay. All right, now we have our conclusion. Our conclusion is back to a right side up triangle. I'm sorry, that's terrible. A triangle, okay? That's a terrible triangle, guys.
Wait, can we give this as food?
I love it.
I don't even know what's happening. Okay. All right. Okay. In our concluding paragraph, we address our thesis. we summarize our argument, and lastly, it's our call to action. Okay? Why is this important to the world? Why did you just rate this? Johnny.
So, really quick, for the sample argumentative body paragraph, it says a concluding sentence. Do you have to write a concluding sentence?
Always.
A concluding paragraph.
Always one concluding sentence. You have to wrap it up, right?
But like sentence or paragraph?
Oh. Just like an expository, right? Don't ever think it. Yes.
So you're telling me this is a pyramid scheme?
Something like that. Alright, here's what we're gonna do, okay? So, open your computers.
What are the two other parts of the last?
Huh?
You didn't finish your pyramid.
Oh, well, I said this is a summarization of your argument. And the last is a call to action, remember? Charles, please stop. Remember, the call to action is, what do you want the reader to do now? What do you want the reader to focus on? What was the point of your essay? Okay? I think you and I need to have a discussion with Mr. Palmer at some point. Not you, Elijah. Yes. Okay. All right. So go ahead and go to this PowerPoint.
Oh, the PowerPoint?
Yes. Yeah, this. Sorry, Google Slides. My bad. I'm old and I say PowerPoint.
I say that too.
Yeah, that's the PowerPoint. No, that's where you submit it. So go to PowerPoint. You need that document.
I made it up. You say program too when you're watching TV.
Oh my gosh, I'm not that old. Will you go to PowerPoint, please?
That's what my grandma said.
PowerPoint. Go. Oh, sorry. Go to the Google Slides. Google Slides. Oh no, I didn't take roll today.
So wait.
Wait.
This PowerPoint.
It's all in this.
It's on
How long is
Canvas.
this thing?
Here.
Oh, I clicked it. I did it.
Good? Okay. So, eyeballs. Kyle. So you need to click this link, okay? It's going to create a new document for you. This is the only way to get it. It's on the last slide of the PowerPoint.
Google Slides.
So make a copy of it.
Oh.
Okay. You guys are gonna like this one.
Oh, what's the vowel? That's a.
Nope. This is just
Your teachers assign you much homework.
Considering you're giving us instructions, it's like 2 paragraphs long. It's probably not that good.
That's not it.
That's 2 paragraphs.
That's one paragraph.
Are you okay?
It's like 2 paragraphs.
That's one noble
Yeah, that's called one. That's called units. Common sense.
Not like
So it's on the slide. The first one.
Oh, yes, we have
Alright, bring it back in 3, 2, 1, 0. Thank you. Good response.
You are welcome.
And then you blurt out. We were so positive. Alright, please raise your hand if you are not here with me. Mary, can you help these, these young men next to you?
She said that.
Alright, are we all there?
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay. Alright. Follow along as I read. Okay? Follow along as I read. One of the most here would be the prompt for this essay, okay? Do teachers assign too much homework? So this is an argumentative body paragraph. Repeat. This is an argumentative body paragraph, so that format, okay? I already would have had an introductory paragraph. One of the most important reasons why teachers assign too much homework is the fact that they do not take extracurricular activities into account. For example, the review of educational research found that a higher number of students than ever are participating in extracurricular activities. In addition, the same study found that participation improves student self-esteem, educational aspirations and goals, race relations, and student grades. This study proves how important it is for students to participate in after-school activities, and teachers who overassign homework are affecting whether or not students can participate. On the other hand, critics will argue that homework is one of the most effective ways of learning a new skill because it is an individual assignment. Even though many people will argue the importance of homework, the time for extracurricular activities develops student character and prepares them for the world better than homework ever could. Therefore, teachers should consider how much their homework assignments are cutting into student opportunities outside of school. How many times have I ever assigned homework?
Miss Podolsky does
Literally
not
every
assign
single
that.
day.
Miss Podolsky does not assign that.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Okay, we need to show this for that.
Okay.
Oh,
Stay with me. Stay with me. Here's what I'm asking you to do. Okay? I want you to, and for people at home, this is the only way you know how to do this assignment. Talking to them, haven't heard this yet, so we'll see you later.
Yeah, people at home, hear me.
Sometimes I can't get
I want you to annotate this paragraph for elements of the body paragraph, okay? So, I need you to, however you want to do it, whether you want to highlight it, insert a comment, okay? Identify the topic sentence, the evidence, the explanation, the counter-argument, the rebuttal, and the concluding sentence. So let's do the first two together, okay? Mia, stay with me, hon, okay?
For every sentence.
No, for each portion. Okay, so let's go sentence by sentence. One of the most, okay, I'm sorry. Someone tell me what the topic sentence is, or sentence is. Johnny. Excellent. Okay, so there's our topic sentence. What's the next element? So what?
You want us to highlight that sentence?
Up to you. So you can underline it, bold it, italicize it. You can put an insert and a comment. I can't. Oh, you're right.
You can't. Very much.
You can. No, you can. All right. Okay. What's the next element of an argument in a body paragraph? Evidence, okay? Someone who wants to point out the evidence portion for me? Nate?
For example, the review of educational research found that a higher number of students than ever are participating in extracurricular activities, and then it goes on and on, I think.
Okay, yeah, so in addition, the same study found that participation improves student self-esteem, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so highlight that a different color or underline it, bold it in a different way. Okay? You ready to do it, buddy? Okay, so what's the next component of an argumentative body essay? Tessa? Explanation, excellent. Okay, so who wants to tell me where my explanation is? Charles?
This study proves how important it is for students to participate in after-school activities. Teachers who over-assign homework are affecting whether or not students can participate.
Good job. Okay. Highlight that, do it in a different format, okay? Alright, do you guys want to continue to do this together, or do you?
Yes.
Okay.
No.
Okay. So Nate, if you want to do it on your own, go ahead and do it listen, okay? So what comes next after explanation? What's the next component? Caleb? Rebuttal, okay? Someone tell me where my rebuttal is. Someone raise your hand.
Wait, why?
Emma, where's my rebuttal? Oh, I'm sorry, it's not rebuttal, it's counter argument. Yes. It's the counter argument. Go ahead.
On the other hand, critics will argue that homework is one of the most effective ways of learning a new skill because it is an individual assignment.
Okay, I want to point something out to you guys, okay? Look at me, everybody. Levi. Nate. Ava. Okay. Cues like this, on the other hand, those are transition words you absolutely need in a counter argument. You have to cue the reader. If you just tell me, this is what last year when I had 7th graders, they would forget transition words like that, and then they would just say, homework is one of the most effective ways of learning new skill. And I'd be like, what? It's completely against what you were just saying. You've got to give me some clues that you're now introducing the counter argument. Does that make sense? Kind of a head nod? Yes, Dylan.
Can you also just say critics will argue
Yep, critics will argue. You could say one counter argument is, a counter argument could be.
So on that one, we don't really use.
You can say critics will argue. Totally. Okay. Nate, but
I realized something.
What?
If this doesn't lead into any next paragraph at the end of the paragraph.
it's a concluding sentence. It wraps up the thoughts.
Yeah, but I was taught like to make on the last sentence, the concluding sentence of that paragraph, you make a sentence that goes into the next paragraph that explains.
Sure, that's one way. That's one way to teach writing. The way I teach it is that you should have a transition at the top of your paragraph to cue the reader in that you're adding on to that first thought.
So you do it at the beginning and not the end.
Yeah, so either way, whichever way you were taught, both ways are fine. That's just the way I teach it. Okay? Alright, what comes after counter argument? What comes after counter argument? Tony. Rebuttal! Okay, someone tell me where the rebuttal is. No, okay.
Even though many people argue the importance of homework, the time for
Extracurricular?
activities develop students' character and perhaps and prepares them for the world better than homework ever could.
Good. Okay. So do you see how this directly addresses the counter argument? I'm directly going against, okay, critics will argue that homework, blah, blah, blah. Okay, good. Okay. The rebuttal needs to prove the counter argument wrong. All right, lastly, what's my last sentence, Faith? Can you tell me what the last thing is?
Therefore, teachers should consider how much homework assignments are putting into students.
Perfect. Okay. Voila. Okay. It's super easy to analyze. Step 1. Okay. So I need you guys to copy and paste your, Mary, I need to fix the advanced in Ava and Belle and Jillian. I need to fix this. Your thing doesn't have a link to submit. So I want you guys to copy and paste your link and post it in there. Okay, so copy and paste your Google Doc URL.
Do we have to get the shareable?
Make sure you get shareable, people.
Yes.
It doesn't work.
So on the top right side, right here, you're going to press share and you're going to get shareable link.
We have to do it that way. Can we just file upload?
You can just copy and paste. That's fine. Or file upload. Okay. I just think that's easier.
Wait, what are we doing?
Into the assignment. So if you go on here, the second thing is analyze sample body paragraph. Go ahead and turn it in right there.
FYI, purplish is now a word on my.
You know what? I'm so happy for you. Yes, Jillian. On your module.
Submit it.
Once.
Look at that one.
Yeah.
The second one, the analyze sample body paragraph.
I thought she said.
Oh, I'm just highlighted. I'm just indecisive. No, that's okay.
All right, advanced. You guys can now submit.
We're actually not submitting that one, but
So kiddos, look at the board. You should be submitting. We just analyzed a sample body paragraph, right? So you should be submitting in that one. Your next assignment is the sample body paragraph. So go ahead. I'm going to explain this, okay? So, ready? Eyeballs. Everyone, look at me. Nate. Good.
Can you take off a submission?
Johnny, careful. I know, right? Huh?
Can you take off a submission?
yeah, it says resubmit.
How do you just move that box?
I know I will at some point. All right, here's what we're doing. You good, leave it? Okay. So now that we figured out how the format works, Mia, now that we figured out how the format works, I want you to write a sample body paragraph. Body paragraph, that's it. You are not writing an essay, you're writing one body paragraph. Hold on. So here's your instructions. Write an argumentative body paragraph in the correct format. So here's the prompt, okay? To what extent do you agree or disagree with the following statement? School teaches you the skills in life that you need to be successful. Okay? So you guys are going to have to develop a claim, right? Then you're going to give me a topic sentence, evidence, explanation, counter-argument, rebuttal, and concluding sentence. Okay? I would like you to test out, like, researching things for your evidence. So, like, just Google something really quick and pull that in as your evidence. That's fine. Okay?
Wait, what if I got a resist?
That's perfect. That's what I need. I would like you to research the practice. Yes, Nate.
What if you're both what if you think of both, like, I think school teaches you stuff, but I think school should teach you
says to what extent, right? So you can use that as your argument. Emma?
So when we our topic sentence has to include the normal, like the original claim and the reason.
No. So pretend you already wrote an intro paragraph, right? And you already have your thesis statement of your opinion. Now you're going to give me that first, like, reasons why your claim is supported. Okay. Tony? However you want to approach it. This is just me saying it, so I'm not like to. I just want to see you guys are it out. Yes.
No, me first.
Did you already do this? Is this? Education. So you guys can go ahead and start cleaning up. How about you guys?
You want us to highlight these colors?
No, that's just for you to, like, kind of help understand your problem. Is everyone good?
Still have questions.
Oh, you were doing A, okay.
Hey, Charles, or Levi, let's go talk to someone. I have to go get my water bottle. I'm just gonna go clean back up.
Oh yeah, put your chairs up, please. It's Thursday. Thank you, Tony.
Levi, I actually feel bad for you.
I know, but I don't.
Well, don't you cheating on me now.
Yeah, well, first because it's gonna come things away with you. Except for the paper, your paper. Paris, you wanna come see this? No?
You realize that? Because you're literally going to say I hit your windshield. I don't know if it was already pressured, but you're just going to say one.
Bye, kiddos. Good job today. You can go.